อนนี้มันเป็นวิกฤตที่สุดตั้งแต่สงครามโลกครั้งที่2เพราะตอนนี้65ล้านกว่าคนแล้วก็เขาบอกว่า 34,000 คนในทุกๆวันกำลังลี้ภัยอยู่เลขขึ้นไปทุกวันถ้าเราไม่ทำอะไรสักอย่างเพราะว่าปัญหาไม่ได้ไกลตัวเหมือนที่เราคิดยุคก่อนหน้านี้เป็นยุคที่เกือบสายไปแล้วยุคเราสายแล้วนะแต่ยุคหลังจากเราสายแน่นอนยุคนี้ผู้ลี้ภัยต้องช่วยกันในยุคนี้เพื่อที่จะให้รุ่นลูกรุ่นหลานดูเป็นแบบอย่างว่ายุคนี้สามารถทำได้เราสามารถอยู่ในสันติภาพได้
And good late afternoon. This is News and Views, and you're with me, Siritsa Prashumyat. Once again, this is News and Views, and we're on Bangkok Radio, Sarandrom, AM 1575 gigahertz, and it's on air every Monday, 6 to 6:30 p.m. I'm sorry. The weather this week has been quite great, I think. I have been feeling like a good cold weather, enjoying the cold, nice weather. I woke up this morning feeling very chilly. I hope that you're all enjoying the cold weather right now too. And looks like by the end of the week, the weather will return to normal. So be sure to enjoy the cold weather right now as you can. So let's start off with the headlines today. But making the headlines right now at the middle of the week is ITD boss charged with poaching. And that's from The Nation. Another one is born to succeed Italian Thai president built construction giant. Also on Bangkok Post is the ITD tycoon in crosshairs after arrest. And also, I think that is the main headlines right now. And I think the most important part right here from the Bangkok Post is a short writings on the forest, a haven of trouble. Now, Thong Yai Naresuan, a valuable and wildlife-rich forest, has been notorious for decades as an area where rich and powerful people enjoy poaching and game hunting. Soup Naka Satien, a wildlife sanctuary chief who oversaw the forest, committed suicide on September the 1st, 1990, to protest about the country's dysfunctional bureaucracy that failed to provide sufficient resources and backup for officials to tackle poachers and hunters. The case of Premchai Ganasutta, president of the huge SET listed construction company Italian Thai Development, being arrested for allegedly hunting wildlife in the World Heritage Sanctuary in Kanchanaburi province, showed brazen poaching continues there. The most notorious trophy hunting case took place in 1973. In May of that year, the media reported a deadly accident involving a military helicopter that crashed on April the 29th in Thong Yai Naresuan Wildlife Sanctuary, killing 6 high-ranking police and military officers. The case turned into a scandal as it turned out more than 50 officers were involved in a 4-day hunting trip in Kanchanaburi. Soldiers also brought businessmen and an actress with them. The report claimed these hunters cooked and ate the animals they killed at parties. The public grew enraged about the military refused to admit wrongdoing. Field Marshal Thanom Kittikachorn, who was Prime Minister at the time, said the accident was a secret mission. The scandal channeled resistance to the arrogant military government of the time, helping to stoke anger, which led to the historic political uprising of October 14th, 1973. So you see, everything has a story, has a history. So the same goes for this wildlife sanctuary, which have a lot of stories, a lot of controversies, and a lot of things that shouldn't have been but did. And right now, once again, it's up on the front page because another one is the ITD boss, which is very, very popular in Thailand, and he's doing poaching in the wildlife sanctuary. On to some other news. Now, looking at The Nation, I see that they have this story about a born to succeed Italian Thai president built construction giant. Now, high-flying Premchai Ganasut, president of the Italian Thai Development, or ITD, is one of Thailand's most powerful businessmen after 3 decades of heading the construction giant, operating both in the kingdom and across the ASEAN region. Now, ITD, one of the country's biggest construction firms, is the builder of many well-known infrastructure projects, including Suvarnabhumi Airport, the BTS SkyTrain system, and multiple expressway and highway projects across the country. Born in 1954 into a family steeped in business, Prem Chai, now 63, is the youngest son of Chayut Ganasut, the co-founder of ITD. He graduated in mine engineering from Colorado School of Mines in 1977 before gaining a Master's of Business Administration from the University of Southern California in 1979. His background and business vision turned ITD into a construction industry behemoth responsible for several infrastructure projects in Thailand and neighboring countries. While ITD obtained favorable conditions from several governments in the region, it is not obvious that Prem Chai has links to any particular political group in Thailand. The company is currently 14.88% owned by Prem Chai, with other members of his extended family also being major shareholders. ITD has also invested significantly in Myanmar's Dawei Deep Sea Airport and Industrial Estate program in partnership with Thai and other foreign firms. Since the late 1980s, Prem Chai has turned ITD with an iron grip, resulting in a relatively impressive record of big construction contracts worth tens of billions of baht per year. While the firm's revenues are as much as 40 billion baht to 50 billion per year, ITD reported a net profit of only 246 million in the third quarter of 2017. Now, in 2017 alone, ITD won several mega infrastructure projects worth a combined 130 billion, including the 35 billion baht Myanmar power plant project. The firm is also one of the biggest winners of the rail track construction contracts, worth several tens of billion baht, including the first section of the Thai-Chinese high-speed train project and the Purple Line, Orange Line, and Red Line mass transit projects, as well as the Phase 3 Lam Shabang Port project. However, the Dawei Deep Sea Port and Industrial Estate project in Myanmar is probably the largest for ITD in terms of construction scale and capital investment. Besides the deep sea port, which is close to Thailand's Kanchanaburi province, ITD has also joined hands with the Rojana Industrial Estate to develop a massive site of 13,000 rai, or that's about 2,080 acres, for industrial use. As you can see, ITD is very famous in Thailand, and it is one of the biggest firms for construction right now, and him being like the boss of ITD, being in the front page of the news right now, is not very good for the company. I'm foreseeing that the shares might go down because this is going to be a long trial, and he's going to be in a long run of trials and front page news until everything settles down. Now, I have a bit of updates on sports, which is the gold medalists are among 32 Russians seeking spots. Now, 6-time Olympic gold medalist Victor An and 3 former NHL players are among 32 Russian athletes who filed appeals yesterday seeking spots at the Pyongyang Olympics in South Korea. Now, the 32 athletes all failed to pass the mandatory International Olympic Committee vetting that is imposed as a result of a Russian doping at the 2014 Sochi Olympics and were not invited to the Games. The Court of Arbitration for Sport said it would likely hear the case today in Pyongyang. If the Russian athletes forced the IOC to invite them, it would mean the medal contenders in some sports changed dramatically only days before the Games open on Friday. Now, CAS added that as well as short track speed skating, grade on, the 32 include world cross-country skiing champion Sergei Usyukov and world biathlon champion Anton Shipulin. Also on the list are former NHL players Sergei Plotnikov and Lovbelov and Valery Nishushkin, who has been considered possible candidates for the Russian team in Pyongyang. If figure skater Ksenia Stotbova is invited, she could compete as soon as Friday morning in the pairs short program component of the team event. Some of the 32 Russians are already in Far East countries like Japan, so they will be acclimatized and ready to travel to Pyongyang if invited. John Coates, the Australian IOC member who also oversees CAS operations, said yesterday, which is the 5th of February, said that the 32 has also filed appeals in Swiss courts, but didn't give details. Now, the IOC hasn't said why any of the individual Russians weren't invited, but did say it used a newly available database detailing past doping when it decided who should be eligible. Now, it is a separate case from the 28 Russian athletes who last week overturned doping bans from the 2014 Olympics at CAS. The IOC is also refusing to invite 13 others of those that are still active. Now, so yes, the Winter Olympics in Pyongyang is opening on Friday, so be sure to keep track of that if you are a sports fan. I'm not a very big sports fan myself, so I have no idea who's who and what's what, but I'll try to keep on updating you by next week, because by then we will sure know who's winning, who's not winning, who's on the run to win, who's winning some gold medals, who's winning what, and who would be the top contenders for the Winter Olympics this year. Now, I have some updates from the ministry right now. The first one being Thailand to host the 5th Green Mekhong Forum. Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan will co-host the 5th Green Mekhong Forum on the 12th of February 2018 at the View Hotel, Bangkok, Thailand. The said forum will be co-chaired by His Excellency Mr. Attayut Srisamut, Director General Department of International Economic Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand, and Mr. Fumio Shimizu, Deputy Director General for the Southeast and Southwest Asian Affairs Department, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan. The forum is part of the activities under the Mekong-Japan Cooperation Framework, aimed at highlighting the importance of sustainable growth and economic development, as well as addressing common challenges faced by Japan and the Mekong countries, including Cambodia, Laos PDR, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. The forum will focus on sustainable Mekong, climate change and renewable energy, and water resources management and disaster risk reduction. Keynote speakers are representatives from government agencies, international organizations, and academic institutions from Japan and the Mekong regions, or countries rather. Participants will exchange views and best practices on environmental issues and challenges facing the Mekong region, in line with the Mekong-Japan Cooperation Framework's action plan for a decade toward the Great Mekong Initiative, adopted at the second Mekong-Japan Summit in 2010. Now, also on the 12th of February is the announcement of the National Agenda on Human Rights, focusing on sustainable development for Thailand 4.0. And that would be, the keynote speaker for that event would be the Prime Minister, His Excellency General Prayut Chan-o-cha. His Excellency Mr. Don Pramat-Vinay, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand, will also be present to give the opening speech, as well as the Deputy Prime Minister and Justice Minister, General Prajin Chantong. Also, all of the ambassadors and head of missions right here and representatives of all of the missions here in Thailand would also be invited to the announcement or the national agenda on human rights. So, be sure. I think I will have more updates and more details on that by Monday. So I'll be sure to try to listen in next week to find out what happened on Monday about the national agenda announcement as well. So right now we'll take a short break and we'll be back with more updates.
ความเป็นไทยเป็นอะไรที่ยืดหยุ่นค่ะไม่ได้อยู่ที่หน้าตาอย่างเดียวแม่ก็อาจจะใส่ผ้าไทยต้มหูอะไรที่ออกไทยๆแต่ว่าที่สำคัญค่ะแม่คิดว่าความเป็นไทยเป็นอะไรที่ค่อนข้างยืดหยุ่นเป็นอะไรที่เราต้องพิสูจน์เพราะคนไทยมีน้ำใจแล้วคิดว่าตอนแม่อยู่บนเวทีค่ะตอนเริ่มพูดคุยเนี่ยคนก็จะเข้าใจความเป็นไทยมากขึ้นคิดว่าการเตรียมตัวเรื่องนี้เนี่ยเป็นอะไรที่สำคัญมากเราต้องอ่านติดตามข่าวทุกวันต้องทำการบ้านแล้ววันนี้ก็มีโอกาสได้เข้ามาที่กระทรวงต่างประเทศได้พูดคุยได้เรียนรู้หลายอย่างแล้วก็เมียก็จะไปทำการบ้านเพิ่มขึ้นค่ะ ดว่าต้องให้ความสำคัญมากค่ะเพราะว่าตอนนี้เราก็ครบ50 ปีกับอาเซียนแล้วเราก็ต้องร่วมมือกับประเทศที่อยู่ข้างๆเราโลกทุกวันก็ยิ่ง globalization ตลอดเวลาเราก็ต้องให้ความสำคัญกับต่างประเทศมากค่ะเพราะว่าถ้าเราจะเติบโตได้เราก็ต้องร่วมมือช่วยกันปัญหานี้เมียคิดว่าเป็นอะไรที่ค่อนข้างเดือดร้อนเหมือนกันเพราะว่าไม่ว่าประเทศเรากำลังพัฒนาตลอดแต่ว่าเรื่องนี้ก็พัฒนาขึ้นด้วยค่ะซึ่งเป็นอะไรที่ผิดจริงๆสถิตินี้ต้องลงแล้วตอนนี้เมียมีโอกาสได้พูดคุยกับ UNFPA ไปแล้วเราได้เรียนรู้เกี่ยวกับสิทธิของเยาวชนค่ะว่าจริงๆนะเมืองไทยเนี่ยมีสิทธิที่ยอดเยี่ยมจริงๆสำหรับเยาวชนแต่ว่าหลายคนยังไม่รู้สิทธิของตัวเองเราเมียคิดว่าสำคัญมากค่ะที่เยาวชนเนี่ยควรจะรู้สิทธิของตัวเองจะได้รู้ว่าเขาสามารถทำอะไรได้บ้างเขาสามารถหาข้อมูลที่ไหนได้เขาสามารถทำอะไรได้บ้างค่ะเพราะว่าถ้าเรารู้สิทธิเนี่ยเราก็สามารถเติบโตไปได้อย่างดีค่ะการเป็นนางงามนะคะเราก็มีโอกาสที่จะเป็นกระบอกเสียงให้คนฟังหลายๆเรื่องที่เราอยากจะเปลี่ยนแปลงที่เราอยากจะช่วยเราคิดว่าสำคัญมากค่ะที่เราต้องเป็นตัวอย่างที่ดีเพราะว่าเยาวชนหลายคนก็จะหันมามองหันมาฟังหันมาทำตามก็คิดว่าไม่ว่าเราจะทำอะไรเล็กๆน้อยๆเราก็สามารถเปลี่ยนแปลงอะไรได้ค่ะ
I still have more news about Thailand. Now, right here, Washington Post has said that Thailand's generals don't seem to be in any hurry to hold new elections. Okay, so the story reads, on May 22nd, 2014, soldiers in green camouflage fanned out across the leafy streets of Bangkok, Thailand's capital city. They took control of the airport, government ministries, closed down roads, blacked out television stations, and imposed martial law. Soon, the elected Prime Minister was out, and Military General Prayut was in. For the 12th time since 1932, a coup d'etat had toppled Thailand's government. But don't worry, the military quickly promised that the flawed system of Thai-style democracy would soon return. The generals pledged that they would consult Thai voters at the ballot box, return to the barracks, and let civilians get back to running the show. Then, as elections approached in 2015, General-turned Prime Minister Prayut backtracked, announcing that elections couldn't possibly be held before early 2016. As that date approached, Prayut backtracked again, suggesting that a return to democracy in 2017 would be possible. Of course, 2017 came and went, with Prayut flirting with various dates in 2018 as the new target. And last month, you guessed it, Thailand's military junta postponed elections yet again to early 2019. What a tease. Even if the generals finally deliver on that pledge, fool me once, shame on you. Well, fool me twice. That goes on. The military government would nonetheless have been in charge for 5 years, and this week Prayut kept open the possibility that the junta would not return to the barracks even after elections in February of 2019. Every time I've interviewed generals in the junta in Bangkok, they say the right things. They know how to speak in the Western lexicon of democracy, promising a swift return to elections and human rights protections. But they don't follow through. By now, it's clear that Thailand's rulers are playing the strategy of mirage elections, like the shimmering oasis that always seems just over the horizon to the parched desert traveler. Thailand's junta deceived the international community and domestic reformers thirsty for democracy with illusory promise of fresh elections. The strategy is working. The perpetually delayed elections have already afforded the military government with 4 years in power, facing limited international and domestic pressure. All the while, they are busy stacking the deck in their favor so they can stay in power, even if they lose at the ballot box. The government already changed the constitution via a hastily held referendum, thereby providing the military with the ability to manage politicians, setting generals up to be powerful kingmakers, even if civilian government does eventually return. Or as former Thai Foreign Minister Kasit Prirom recently explained to me, the military junta's political doctrine is expressed as a Thai-style democracy, which means a democracy with the military in control. Now, the interviewer is Brian Klaas, a fellow in comparative politics in the London School of Economics, the author of The Despot's Apprentice, and a Washington Post Global Opinions columnist. Okay, so right now the junta military government is being criticized for their once again postponed elections date to the beginning of 2019, February to be exact, after the NLA voted anonymously on extending the elections for another 90 days, which I gave at the beginning of the week of the details of what is going on right now. So right here I still have one more update from the ministry, which is Director General of the WHO paid courtesy call on the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Now this is quite old, but it happened on the last day of January, which is January 31st of 2018. Now Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, director of the World Health Organization or WHO, paid a courtesy call on His Excellency Mr. Don Pramatwinai, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand, on the occasion of his visit to Thailand as one of the co-hosts of the Prince Mahidol Award Conference or the PMAC. Dr. Ghebreyesus commended and expressed his appreciation of Thailand's roles in supporting universal health coverage, or UHC, and medical tourism. As a developing country, Thailand has proven that UHC is viable, and the WHO wishes to learn from Thailand's expertise and as a role model for best practices. During Dr. Ghebreyesus' term, the WHO's priorities include implementing UHC with particular focus on primary healthcare at the community level, non-communicable diseases or NCDs, physical activity, child and maternal health, and health emergencies. Dr. Ghebreyesus also expressed his appreciation of Thailand's continued support of the WHO through financial contributions and in-kind contributions such as sending effective emergency response team and medical teams to help other countries like the Nepal earthquake. Then the Minister of Foreign Affairs thanked the WHO for its continued support of Thailand's efforts and stated that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs works closely with the Ministry of Public Health on global health issues. Under Thailand's chairmanship of the Foreign Policy and Global Health Initiative, or FPGH, in 2017, Thailand successfully raised awareness of UHC through a resolution proclaiming and inviting all to be observed on the 12th December as International UHC Day. The Thai side also looks forward to further cooperation with the WHO in the field of active aging under Thailand's chairmanship of ASEAN in 2019, as Thailand aims to establish an ASEAN Center for Active Aging and Innovation, or ACAI, that's ACAI, in Thailand by 2019. Now, the WHO also expressed its willingness to render support for Thailand in this endeavor. Now, before we finish off today, I would like to give some more updates about the Oscar. So, talking about it, the Oscar is coming on March the 4th, which is about 3 weeks away. So, if you are cheering on any films, any directors, or any leading roles of actors and leading actors and actresses, be sure to check that out. That would happen on March the 4th. So right here with me, I have all the listing of who's the best pictures nominees are, the best directors, the best leading roles for actors, and the best leading role for actresses. So best pictures, once again, is Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Florida Project, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Post, The Shape of Water, which already won the Golden Globe, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. For directors, it's Dunkirk, it's Christopher Nolan. The Florida Project, that's Sean Baker. Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig. The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. And 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, that's Martin McDonough. For leading actor, Timothy Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name. Daniel Day-Lewis, Phantom Thread. James Franco, The Disaster Artist. Daniel Kaluuya, Get Out. And Gary Oldman from The Darkest Hour. Now for leading actresses is Sally Hawkins from The Shape of Water. Frances McDormand from 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Margot Robbie from I, Tonya. Saoirse Ronan from Lady Bird, and Meryl Streep from The Post. So if you're cheering on any actors or actresses right there, be sure to check out the Oscar nominees or the 90th Academy nomination, which will happen on March the 4th. If you have True, it would probably be aired at around 8 a.m. So be sure to check that out, and don't forget it's March the 4th, which takes place in about 2 weeks. So before I go, I have some fun facts for you today. So did you know that you burn more calories by sleeping than you do watching television? So be sure to sleep more and watch TV less. And with my ending quotes today, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it, which means that you get the chance to do 90% and you choose 90% of what happens to you. So be sure to check that out. And that quote is from Charles R. Swindoll. So be sure to remember that 10% happens to you and the other 9% you choose for yourself. Okay, that's all about the updates, all I have for you today. So we talked about the ITD being trialed for poaching in the the wildlife sanctuary, the Thung Yai Naresuan in Kanchanaburi province. We also talk about the government not trying to hold an election and postponing it until February of 2019. We also looked at the Oscars nominations, which is once again going to happen on March the 4th, which is in about 2 weeks. So be sure to check that out if you are cheering on any actors, actresses, or any of your favorite movies are being nominated or is being nominated, to see who is going to win the Oscar this year. And that's the 90th Academy Awards. Okay, that's it from me today. If you have any comments, if you want just to say hi, if you want to write me a postcards, be sure to write to me, Siriksa Prashumyat, and the address is Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand, 443 Rama 6 Road, Ratchathewi District, Bangkok, Thailand, and the postcode is 10400. You can also check more of our programs on from the Facebook page and YouTube channel at Saranrom Radio. Now Saranrom is spelled SARANROM, Saranrom Radio. So be sure to check our Facebook page and our YouTube channel for more of our programs. Thank you for tuning in to News and Views, and I will see you again next week. สวัสดีค่ะ
ตอนนี้มันเป็นวิกฤตที่สุดตั้งแต่สงครามโลกครั้งที่2เพราะตอนนี้65ล้านกว่าคนแล้วก็เขาบอกว่า 34,000 คนในทุกๆวันกำลังลี้ภัยอยู่เลขขึ้นไปทุกวันถ้าเราไม่ทำอะไรสักอย่างเพราะว่าปัญหาไม่ได้ไกลตัวเหมือนที่เราคิดยุคก่อนหน้านี้เป็นยุคที่เกือบสายไปแล้วยุคเราสายแล้วนะแต่ยุคหลังจากเราสายแน่นอนผู้ลี้ภัยต้องช่วยกันในยุคนี้เพื่อที่จะให้รุ่นลูกรุ่นหลานดูเป็นแบบอย่างว่ายุคนี้สามารถทำได้เราสามารถอยู่ในสันติภาพได้